Hey, in today's episode, we're going to show you how we turned this into this. So here is our bunk house, and it's just Doug and I. We're not traveling with kids or other people. And actually, if we ever did have one of our kids stay with us in the trailer, which they probably would never want to do, but if they did, the dinette folds into a bed. Anyway, this bunkhouse space, it's nice space for sleeping, but I mean, we're gonna be able to repurpose it and use it for storage, I think, a lot better. So it does have a tiny door that goes outside. It's like a half-size door, I guess, maybe, or 2/3. So we're gonna gut this and take out the rest of this cabinetry, this middle board, because it's not structural, and then this board. We'll actually take this and put it at the top like a header, but this won't have a door on it. It'll just be open. But this bunkhouse, the space for 2 bunk beds, they go way back, and we thought if we can walk into this space instead of crawling back there to try to find stuff that we've stored in boxes, it would be pretty awesome. So we're going to make this into kind of like a walk-in clothes hanging closet, and then we're going to do drawers and probably some cubbies for shoes and things like that. And I think we're just going to be able to use this space a lot better. I'm going to try to find the floor plan of this RV and put that here in the video so you can kind of get an overhead view of what the spaces that we're working with, because this is pretty cramped. But this was what we started doing, was keeping clothes and stuff in boxes, but it's so hard to get to. So anyway, stay tuned. So we're starting the demo on the bunk beds. Doug's just starting by undoing screws. The other thing we were thinking about with this is taking out all these wood pieces is gonna actually lighten it up quite a bit if we don't use a lot of wood in there. And we're thinking we're gonna use like plastic storage drawers and things like that. So Doug's gonna start cutting the silicone with a X-Acto knife.
That's a screw.
Yeah. Have their bed cloths.
I know.
Yeah. Poor Doug. He's in this little space that's made for children. I just want you all to know I offered to crawl up there and do it, but he wouldn't let me. Oh, nice. So we're repurposing that board as a header. Just, we're not sure how much that played a part, and just
probably for structural.
Yeah. So there, so that board was right there. We just repurposed it and moved it up. Doug's just taking the screws out of this little curtain rod to take the curtains down.
All I know is we're gonna have to put this beam back up somewhere to make this trailer more rigid, because I think this is serves more as structural than look. I had to stiffen up this back end somehow. Well, any metal that I find, I'll have to try to keep it not in place, but put it somewhere.
So this is just tacked down.
Yeah, they tacked right through the metal. Wiring. Oh, it goes into the bathroom actually.
Oh.
We'll put it on this wall.
Perfect. So there's a light, one of the hardwired lights right there that is for whoever's laying on the bottom bunk, and we're just gonna relocate it to the wall. So we got 3 screws holding that light in that he's so the middle bunk is pretty much out. Doug at least has a tiny bit more space to work in now. Okay, Doug just cut the wires to the little light that was under there, and he's capping them off. And then we're just going to relocate that light. This little wood block, and we think that that was just for the bunk bed to rest on, because that bottom bunk bed hinged up and open and closed, and I think that's all it is, but we want to make sure it's not like something important. Doug thinks it could have something to do with the slider, which is right on the other side of the wall. So we're about to find out. Yeah,
nothing.
Just some wires.
A little electrical down there, but
yeah. So
I'm gonna have to cut these wires.
So this is the light that we're relocating. We're just actually going to use the existing hole that it was wired from, because it's kind of at a nice height where we can just walk in and it's a tap light. You can just turn it on and off right there.
Completely against code,
I'm sure. And again, like we've said before, we're not electricians.
We are today, I guess.
Well, we're not recommending that anybody do this. We're just showing you what we're doing.
That's not the code. I gotta follow everybody else. Da-da.
Like indentations.
This whole thing off with my hand. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a new seat.
We've got some more.
You can hide secret bottles of wine behind
Ooh, I like it. And we have a light. I like it. We're gonna sand this space down and then just paint the inside of it to cover up the damage that we did. Or maybe we won't do that. We'll have to see. We need to assess the damage. So we're inside the closet, and this is the support beam that was under the middle bunk, and it's pretty heavy duty. So Doug moved it up to the ceiling, essentially just moved it up 4 feet. So we've still got that structural support that we may need. We're not really sure, so we're gonna but look at how much more space there is. Doug can actually stand up in here, which is pretty cool. So here's what the bunkhouse looks like gutted. It actually wasn't too hard, but so we've got all the space that we can walk into. It goes all the way to the ceiling. So we've got all the space that we can use. We're gonna hang a bar up in here for sure, and then we're gonna do some other storage, but we're not sure what yet. So we're starting to put things back together and just kind of clean up the demo stuff. So we've got a piece of trim that it was connected with staples, and there's just no way to get the staples back in with a hammer. So we're just gonna, Doug's gonna silicone it in with some of this Loctite.
Next time we're making our own trailer, it's gonna consist of silicone and cardboard.
Yeah, seriously, make it look nicer, more professional. On the inside of the closet, we actually repurposed the hinge that was holding the middle bunk bed in place. And Doug is screwing it into this metal support that we also had repurposed that we showed you earlier. And we're actually letting part of the hinge hang down because it has little holes that are already in there. And we've got these little hooks, and we're going to use that to hang things like brooms and things like that. So I'm going to show you that in just a sec.
Let people go. Now this is a 1/2-inch pipe that we got, galvanized steel, and we're going to hang it. Instead of putting our clothes in these containers here, we're going to hang our clothes. So we got these flanges here
with exactly 6 feet wide, so the pipe is 6 feet wide. So we might have to shimmy a little bit to get it on, but since it's such a tight squeeze. So walking back through the trailer, this is where the bunk bed room used to be. Bunk beds used to be in here. We took everything out and then gutted it. And it's going to be much more usable space. We're actually going to put some plants back here because there's couple of windows. On this side, we're going to get some sort of a wire rack that comes out maybe 6 inches with shelving up and down this wall. I think we're not going to do any repairs. There's a couple That's just a scuff. I think I can get it off with a magic eraser. But this goes all the way to the floor. We shoved some, where those wires come up, we shoved some steel wool and then covered it in silicone to seal it up, because apparently mice and rats won't chew through steel wool. So that was a Doug trick. So anyway, this floor, it just totally opens it up. We repurposed a bunch of the trim pieces that we took off. Put that back on, it's gluing. Here's the rack that we took out of our laundry room that fit in here perfect. We've got the hooks up here on this repurposed bracket that was holding the second bunk bed. So these S hooks I got on Amazon, and I actually use them. We were using them in the closet in the house because this side fits perfectly over a standard clothing rod. And it's a great way to hang up clothes and not take up so much space, and it's really easy and quick. Anyway, we're gonna repurpose these with what we're doing here. I'm just gonna take the metal or the rubber piece off of the one side. So you can see I took the little rubber, I don't know, bumper off the top, and then those hook perfectly in these holes, and then we can hang things like brooms on there. And they're not going anywhere. Working in tight spaces here. So anyway, we can use that to hang our brooms and things with handles like that. So that should work out really awesome.
It's amazing. That's
amazing. So we weren't sure if our jigsaw would cut through this galvanized steel pipe, and Doug found that we had a thick metal cutting blade, and sure enough it worked. So pretty cool. So Doug is drilling the flanges onto the wall, which should be interesting. I wonder if we want to do a little silicone on the ends of those. We actually have been waiting since Thursday night. It's now Saturday night, or Saturday evening. We had our inspection for our buyer. They were here Thursday afternoon, and they're here for quite a long time. And our house is 75 years old. We've done quite a few upgrades to it, and we love it. It functions well for us. We don't have any problems with it that we know of, but you know, on inspections they can get pretty picky. So we just got a call from our realtor who said they had a list, but at the end of the list they said, we're not asking for anything to be fixed. So that's kind of shocking. We were expecting maybe they were going to ask for a roof, because it's an older roof. It doesn't have any problems, and we don't see any issues with it. But we were thinking, since the roof is 17 years old, that maybe they were going to ask for a roof. So we're breathing a huge sigh of relief, and makes us a little bit more motivated and feel like we're definitely doing the right thing. Anyway, there's the clothes rack, and we're going to do the same thing on this side that we did on the other side with the hooks, and just hook our clothes like that instead of using clothes hangers, because clothes hangers, you know, you need a lot of space this way. So these hooks are awesome, and Doug likes them, so that's what's the main thing.
I have a surprise.
Oh yeah? A surprise?
Yeah, we're gonna fasten this to the wall.
Oh, right.
So it doesn't shift.
There's two lights in here. So we bought these little I don't know what you call those things, fasteners. They're in the plumbing section at Lowe's. We actually found the galvanized pipe and flanges at Lowe's also. And this stuff is all cheap, but he's securing it to the wall because, of course, this is a moving home. So as we're going down the freeway, we definitely don't want this. This will help it not shift as we're driving. So here's the clothes wire all installed. Doug fashioned a bracket for this end because we couldn't make it fit without putting the post or the pipe through the wall, because the walls are so thin. So he figured it out with a bracket.